Welcome to another Recession Business Case Study. I am your host, Jacob Aldridge from Don't Waste a Good Recession, the group delivering positive and practical advice to businesses with 2 to 500 employees. Today, we are looking at the Toll House cookie, the dietitian entrepreneur who invented America's favorite cookie, and how that is a recession case study with lessons that you can apply in 2020, 2021, the coronavirus recession and beyond. So we start by having a conversation about restaurant owner Ruth Wakefield and her husband Kenneth. In the year 1938, they faced a challenge. Now, you may remember the 1930s as the Great Depression. Bad as the first recession was after the 1929 stock market crash, in many ways, just as things seemed to be recovering, the second recession during 1937-1938 was even worse. Ruth was a college-educated dietitian. In 1930, she with her husband bought and she became the chef at the Toll House Inn and Restaurant in Whitman, Massachusetts. The Toll House was named after the town, where travellers between Boston and the whaling city of New Bedford were once required to stop and pay a toll. It was a white Cape Cod style building that resembled a home which had overgrown, jutting out wings that housed the guest lodgings, the kitchen and the dining area. The Great Depression was not a great time to be in the restaurant business, especially one famous for its lobster dinners and fine desserts. At her heart, though, Ruth had an entrepreneurial spirit, creativity in the kitchen and in her business. Now, the restaurant business was what it was. 1938, it was a recession. There was not a lot that she was going to be able to do. Similar to many restaurant businesses in the coronavirus recession who are facing lockdown and restrictions over their opening hours that are outside of their control. Ruth felt in 1938 that just because she couldn't shift the restaurant business, that didn't mean there weren't other opportunities. Now, if you've ever wondered who invented the meat pie or the hot dog or banana bread, you may be surprised to discover we know exactly who invented another food we take for granted: the Choc chip cookie. It was Ruth Wakefield. Now, some stories say that it was an accident because God forbid a female entrepreneur be allowed any credit. Ruth herself said it was quite deliberate, and I am inclined to believe her. So what did the Toll House chocolate chip cookie give to Ruth and her business? Well, multiple benefits. First and foremost, the Choc chip cookie gave Ruth a new product, one that could be sold individually and at a low price, a product that could be transported. You didn't have to eat it in her restaurant. You didn't have to come for a sit-down lobster dinner in order to buy the Choc chip cookie from the Toll House restaurant. And indeed, that portability and durability meant that the Choc chip cookie, the Toll House cookie as they are still most popularly known in the United States, would go on to become one of the favorite gifts sent to US servicemen during World War II. And it wasn't a complicated recipe either. Ruth actually wrote a recipe book which included the steps for how to make a Toll House cookie at home. And so delicious was the cookie, so easily could it be made by the home cook, Ruth was invited to be a guest on Betty Crocker's nationally syndicated radio show. So think about her journey, Ruth Wakefield's journey through the Great Depression. In 1930, Ruth owned one business, an inn with an in-house restaurant. By 1939, she had 4 businesses. She had the inn, she had the restaurant, which was now open to the public, she had the cookbook, and she had commercially produced takeaway cookies. Now, very cleverly, and again, no accident, all 4 of those products were unified under the Toll House brand. And as I say, even today, a Toll House cookie in the US is a generic name for a chocolate chip cookie as we know them around the world. In 1939, Ruth actually sold the recipe along with the Toll House cookie brand to Nestle. And her recipe still appears on bags of Nestle chocolate chips. In a time when restaurants were closing, a recession when they had no other choice, Ruth created a new product. She opened a whole new market that was much, much larger than the one she had. And she and the Toll House business thrived. Ruth Wakefield eventually printed 39 editions of her cookbook. She sold the Toll House Inn in 1966, and she died leaving an innovative cooking and business legacy in January of 1977. So what can we learn? What do I see as the most valuable lesson, the Toll House cookie and Ruth Wakefield story? Well, innovation Absolutely. The response to a market need to take something that had been high-end, her culinary expertise, and to find a solution to sell a product at a much cheaper and much more portable place where the market would actually buy it during a recession. The most valuable lesson for me, though, is the power of brand, brand, brand. It could very well have been the Toll House Inn with the Ruth Wakefield restaurant. The chocolate chip cookie could have been called anything, and the cookbook could have taken on a separate brand altogether. By aligning all four of those, Ruth Wakefield demonstrated her entrepreneurial expertise. The Toll House Inn connected to the Toll House restaurant, the Toll House cookbook, and the Toll House cookie. To align those four brands made all of them stronger, even after she sold the cookie recipe and brand to Nestle. What are you doing in your recession to innovate, to respond to the market need, and to leverage the power of your brand? Because more brand awareness is created during a recession than at any other time. If you like that case study, hit the like button. If you want more, hit subscribe, join our group on Facebook, and join the mailing list.